There's chaos in the halls of Netflix as it turns out the White House has a brand new requirement for anyone buying out Warner Brothers. And what might that be, you could ask? Well, the task of doing something with CNN, buying it or selling it to a friend of the Orange Man. Hello and welcome back. It's a beautiful day. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and wherever you are on this beautiful planet, it's a welcome day indeed when you're with us. Drop a like, share, and a comment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about a brand new development in the race to purchase that iconic water tower at Warner Brothers, and now Netflix might be having serious heartburn over trying to learn how to appease the Orange Man. As they say on Frosty, when it comes to CNN, things are messy, messy, messy. Take a look at this out of Bloomberg. President Trump has signaled opposition to a Warner Brothers sale that does not see CNN included or sold to a new company, signaling a potential wrinkle for the Netflix. But yeah, I would say when his son-in-law is leading the hostile takeover for Paramount, there's a wrinkle out there. But this is definitely a new wrinkle that just adds to the belief there is no way Netflix is going to get this now, because Trump is saying, quote, it should be guaranteed and certain that CNN is part of it or sold separately. Listen, Netflix wants no part of CNN, and we'll explain why in just a second. Here's the president who has declared that he will be a part of this decision-making, which is some kind of phenomenal. Let me tell you, you might hate it, you might like it, principled or not. He's saying basically his thumb is on the scale. And here's what he had to say about the CNN part of the deal.
I think any deal should be guaranteed and certain that CNN is part of it or sold separately. But I don't think the people that are running that company right now and running CNN, which is a very dishonest group of people, I don't think that should be allowed to continue. You have some good companies bidding on it. I think the people that have run CNN for the last long period of time are a disgrace. I think it's imperative that CNN be sold. I wouldn't want to see the same company end up with CNN, the same company with money.
Jonas, you're an expert on all things Warner Brothers, Netflix, Paramount, Skydance, and what's been going on. You and Marvin both, I would say. Jonas, Marvin, both of you, whoever wants to take a first stab at this, if Netflix if they must buy CNN, is it over? Does Netflix just withdraw at that point if they have to have CNN? They have no reason to want it.
Well, there's two ways to look at this Netflix deal at this point. Is Netflix after the IPs, which they are? It's in the studio and streaming side. I think the last time I looked it over, I think that Discovery Global is the one that gets CNN. So I think CNN still separated off.
That is correct.
But the president said it would have to be sold.
The president's statement that he will oppose any, or hinting that he will oppose any deal that does not include CNN, is basically him saying, I'm going to oppose the Netflix deal and not the Paramount deal, because the Paramount deal includes includes CNN. The Netflix deal does not. That is 100% what he's saying.
And so this is essentially, I would suppose, a statement to the shareholders. Hey, you can either vote for or against having Paramount do the hostile takeover. But if you vote against, it's a done deal. Netflix is not going to do this. I mean, I just don't see any other way around this. Panel, your thoughts? I'm not going to say what I think politically about this, but I'll tell you, I don't remember any time ever that a potential merger was so impacted by a president. This is, whether it's right or wrong, it's impressive to watch it. We've never seen anything like this.
Well, at least publicly, I'll say that.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's just he's being very upfront about it.
Right, to the point of his son-in-law leading the hostile takeover, at least parts of it, for Paramount Skydance, which is just incredible.
Well, my question is, who wants to keep CNN alive? I mean, besides the fact that it's dishonest, it doesn't get ratings anymore. I mean, do you acquire it and then kill it? Business side of things I don't know enough about to weigh in there, but
so CNN makes a profit based off of the licenses that it has with like the airports and the bus stations and stuff like that to be on in the waiting areas. That's kind of where the money for CNN comes. But what they want to do, what Paramount wants to do, and what David Ellison actually reportedly went to the White House and told Trump he wants to do, is completely reform CNN from top to bottom. They would put Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss has been already rubbing her hands together, waiting to get her hands on CNN because they want to make it a more centrist platform. The one thing that we do not have in cable news is a centrist platform. And so I think they want to make that into CNN, and I'm sure, it will be kicking and screaming the entire way.
I mean, I think it's too late to make that massive change. I think they tried that a couple of years ago. They fired Brian Stelter, and then they just brought him back. So I think that attempt to kind of make it sane didn't work.
I am so happy you brought that up, because that actually takes us directly into the next part of this. Rasmussen is talking about what this means. And Rasmussen's assessment of this, which Rasmussen was one of the top pollsters in terms of accuracy for the last presidential election. We've had Mark Mitchell on here many times. Rasmussen says, David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers, and John Malone promised to restore CNN to real news. And that's true. And you're exact. That's what happened. But then, according to Rasmussen, then discovered that it was actually a captured asset of government gangsters. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but Rasmussen says it is. They were encouraged to forget their promise, and so they did.
Yeah.
Now, this is that's what makes this so alluring and intriguing about all of this is, are we literally saying, and we may be, and it could be factual, it could be true, that CNN became an asset of, what some might call the deep slate? No, that's not how you pronounce it. It must be something else. An asset in that way, and that the reason Trump wants CNN to go to Paramount Skydance is because he wants to win at the midterms, and he thinks he can dislodge it from that and maybe put Barry Weiss and Scott Jennings at the top of it. This is so fascinating to me how the cards are being played. CNN has suddenly become a very outsized part of whatever this is, an effort to get Warner Brothers now going to be sold for more than $100 billion over this.
Now what you're starting to see is you're already starting to see preemptive hits against Barry Weiss. Rachel Maddow just the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Called her a conservative blogger. Barry Weiss is a lot of things. She's not a blogger. She's not conservative. Maybe compared to Rachel Weiss. Rachel Maddow. But they are already starting to hit on the Ellisons. They're already trying to hit on Barry Weiss, because I firmly believe that the reason why they went with this this Netflix deal is those same government gangsters probably pulled them aside and was like, "You will not sell this to the Ellisons."
Something happened, and that's where things got all kinds of smelly. That Friday when the Ellisons report they were ghosted by Zaslav, and suddenly their deal that they'd already said, hey, we can go higher than this. We're really excited to work with you. And suddenly that wasn't the deal that was taken.
And there's no other excuse for the utter abandonment of fiduciary duty by the board to ignore a $30 all cash bid for the entirety of the company that would put so much more money in shareholder pockets so much faster. The only way that happens is if there's some kind of bias going on behind the scenes, and eventually it's going to come out.
Michelle, this has put a little bit of a dampening. The stock for Netflix has dropped significantly. We had that on the screen a minute ago. It's put a little dampening on the whole Stranger Things celebration that they should be having. Stranger Things is doing quite well in streaming. It's the number one thing. And yet everybody's talking about Netflix losing out to Paramount now. What are your thoughts on this?
I think as far as Stranger Things, they'll be fine. And Netflix will be fine. I mean, Netflix, we can't forget that. I mean, they are the streaming giant. They're going to go on and be just fine without this. Their stock will bounce back. So I'm personally happy that Netflix won't get it. I'm one of those people, but Netflix will be fine.
They went one step too far. They chose a company to try to save CNN that if they won, Warner Brothers would probably destroy theaters. So, and Christian, one of the funny things about this is we all discovered that suddenly Hollywood hates Netflix. They really hate them. Like, that's the one thing that came out here was everybody is knives out for Netflix.
Yeah, the same people who have Knives Out for Netflix can't wait to make Netflix movies like Martin Scorsese and all David Fincher and all these, A-list names and talents. If they're really so angry at this platform, every time Ryan Johnson kvetches about, oh, I want my movies to be in theaters. Well, dude, you're working for Netflix. What'd you expect?
Right. That old Ricky Gervais joke where he said, if I won't abbreviate, the International Space in Space Station had their own streaming service, you would call your agent.
The Deadline is reporting.
I take their outrage with a bit of a grain of salt, but they also do recognize that Netflix is about Netflix and chill, not going to your local movie house. And they've been acting accordingly for a while now, but they don't.
I think they saw Netflix as the one ideologically aligned wing of entertainment that could feasibly purchase this out from away from Paramount that would not be immediately shot down by regulators. That it would take a while, because the only other one might have been Disney, and Disney would never have been allowed to buy Warner Brothers.
Deadline is reporting it this way. Dominic Patton says David Zaslav, that's the CEO of Warner Brothers, next act looks murky as Netflix and Paramount face off over Warner Brothers acquisition. Maybe this is what got Trump to say what he's saying. Maybe he read the story and said, you know what, murky. I'm going to make it crystal clear for them what's going to happen. We're just going straight into in-game mode here, and that's maybe the way it's going to go. I don't think it's murky anymore. Jonas, I think we know what's going to happen at this point, and minus some sort of seismic shift that I just don't foresee.
What's funny is I think Polymarket right now has it 50-50 between Paramount and Netflix. Despite
that's interesting. I did not know that. Despite
there being a deal on the table and in some kind, they're in. I don't even think it's final negotiations. Do we have any updates, Jonas, from our sources that we're allowed to talk about? The only update I have there is that there was a Warner Brothers email that went out telling them not to speculate, and not kidding you, word for word, it says no guessing at outcomes.
Not even internally, like not even to your coworkers.
Right.
Shut up. Get away with that water cooler.
I will say that it doesn't even say vocalizing those guesses. It just says no guessing.
Yeah, they are taking the water coolers out of the building.
That's right. Throwing them out the window.
The cafeteria is closed. You can all eat alone in your cubicle.
And whatever you do, keep David Zaslav out of your blanking mouth. Culture, I'll let you wrap this one up with your final thoughts on it. Things murky for sure. I did not know about the polymath. That I take polymath pretty seriously, so that's surprising to me. Culture, what do you got? There you go.
Okay, look, I'm looking at it, and I'm going to say something that might be remarkable to all of you, but Dateline with this story has been notoriously misleading for the bulk of Hollywood. Their entire timeline, if you look at that article, they have a timeline that's followed all of these stories. One of them included a story that Trump isn't picking sides, which we knew was completely baloney sausage when they released that story very early on in this, knowing full well that his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is likely, helping him make decisions on whether or not to support these things. So I'm just going to set all that aside and say I don't trust anything they're writing. Right now, they're just trying to make Hollywood feel good about the fact that they're about to lose this last battle when it comes to, their deceptive news practices and everything else. Barry Weiss will end up, leading CNN, whether they want that or not. And I think there is little doubt. If I were going to bet, it wouldn't be through Kalishi, because they're in bed with CNN. There's already corrupt information.
She got those dragons.
Yeah, but that too. But I think I would definitely bet on the Polymarket side of things. I wouldn't encourage anybody else to. But
how are you going to do it? It's 50-50, Culture. I don't know what you've just confused me even more.
No, I'm going to put it behind Paramount. I think Paramount's the only game in town. It's the only reasonable game in town.
I can't imagine a world in which the shareholders of Warner Brothers pass up more money.
Turn down more cash. And that's the other thing. And I dropped a video this morning on that exact fact. I'm like, this is a no-brainer for anybody who values money. They want more of it. And I think they got the highest price that I could imagine at $30 a share. And I think that despite the fact that Zaslav would prefer a broken up deal so that he can cash in multiple times on his stock options at their incredibly low strike price, I still think it's going to be Paramount at the end of the day, and I think they have the least amount of regulatory hurdles to jump over.
After all of this, the fact that Netflix might even be in discussion and hitting 50% on Polymarket, I got to say, there must be one heck of a political movement, force, system sitting behind the scenes pushing for this, because from everything I see, Paramount has every card you could possibly hold. And I think that losing the political power in the entertainment industry that would happen if the Ellisons get a hold of all of this, that must be the only thing keeping it from going the way that I think it would in every other possible situation. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry, do not fret, not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day, right here on the Pro Channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it. Stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.